So obviously, as you know, in any role, after a while, after a few years, you always tend to think, well, you know, if I have to restart again, you know, what would I do differently? Honestly, so far I've got absolutely no regret on all the projects I've been conducting or organization I set up. But what I would change is the kind of internal engagement at top management level, because actually on that I've been kind of catching up recently, because one thing that we always underestimate is the level of pedagogy and explanation you need to do on those topics. Top management was not against it, but not really supporting. And actually when you're benchmarking the different CAC 40 companies, or any kind of like a big corporation across the globe, one key, if not the key success factor, is the level of engagement and push from the top management.
I think if I was to have my time again, I would probably push harder on the relationships in Silicon Valley, probably harder earlier on. Initially, for the first 1, 2, 3 years, I myself and some of my team were really doing a lot of the partnership work. And I remember once one of my colleagues turning around and saying, "You're always in California." In fact, I went once a year. But it wasn't until I got some of my peers and the CEO, etc., to go to California as well and to have some of those conversations that they also then found it very both energizing, but they also found it very useful for the organization, not just from a product and engineering point of view, but also from a commercial point of view, from an editorial point of view.
One thing that I think is important is to very quickly be able to find allies within the corporation, not just at the exec level, but also, for example, in the different BUs, in the different markets, because the main risk of a CDO is to have some kind of like a lonely journey. And when you talk about digital transformation, it's not a one-man job. So you need to have like the right connection, put in place the right governance, and really make sure that even beyond your own team, like my own like digital factory team, you have got the right scheme internally, because let's face it, so it's a long and complex journey.
If I was to talk to my younger self, I would probably say you're not invincible. An amazing job at a fantastic company can be all-consuming. And actually, the truth is you've got to take time for yourself, your health, your family, and your friends. Now, I don't wish to give the impression that I've neglected all of those things, but I think there are times where you realise that the role can be so consuming that actually you sort of slightly forget about those other things, or you don't spend as much time on those other things as you need to. And actually, they're the things that give you the sustainable energy to do a great job in the long term. So it's a marathon, not a sprint.